Hello, this is Bianca Westwood from Gillette Soccer Saturday on Sky Sports, and you are listening to the V2 Football Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the V2 Football Podcast. I'm your guest host, Anthony Kendrick, and joining me this week, we've got Richard Hudson.
Good evening.
We've got Nick Davie.
Howdy.
And special guest, Chris Wilkerson.
Right.
Happy to be here, Chris?
Ecstatic. The tone of my voice doesn't belie it, I'm sure.
You guys well, Nick, Richard?
I'm excellent, thank you. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. So let's start. There's a few stories which have caught my eye. Firstly, I watched Aberdeen versus Celtic last night. Aberdeen got a 2-1 win, and it looks like the Scottish League might be competitive.
Yeah, because Ronnie Delay doesn't have a clue what he's doing.
Well, there's a lot of talk he's going to quit Celtic. Do you think he might?
Well, he probably will, because he's not very good.
I really don't follow that much of the Scottish League.
I was about to say, what happened on your Wednesday night that you were in watching Scottish League?
Yeah, that's a bad 20 now, when you reduce to that.
I'm researching for the podcast. Something else which caught my eye was Stephen Fletcher, who joined Marseille. But Marseille, their French club's website, they posted this.
Oh, the description's incredible.
Stephen Fletcher will not leave you unmoved. He will not go unnoticed. Marseille have added a Scotsman to the mix. And if you know anything about the mentality of that people, you'll know that's good news. However,
that must be the most sensational amount of bollocks I've ever heard in my life.
Have French people seen any Scottish footballers for the last 20 years?
Well, somebody did, because somebody had added to it. However, he isn't much of a technical player.
Isn't much of a technical. I think that he probably stopped off at Calais and saw all the amount of cheap booze he could bring back, and he's still not been seen yet. Booze cruise.
Something else, courtesy of Chris Lappin, who sent me this. He's not here tonight, but he said he wanted me to share this. That
yeah, well seen, Chris.
A Louis van Gaal lookalike, a dwarf Louis van Gaal lookalike, has been found shagging a man's missus. So yeah, I don't really know what to make of that, to be honest.
I don't know where you can go from that.
No, I don't know. He wanted me to share it, so yeah. All right, then let's get.
That's the mindset of Chris Lappin.
Is that worse than the Gordon Ramsay porn dwarf one?
Oh god.
I've got a quick one to throw in. I don't know if anybody saw it, but in Argentina, the Argentinian FA have sanctioned 15 players with bans ranging from 1 to 8 games after a fight in a pre-season friendly.
Is that the River Plate?
No, this was a different. La Plata. Same one.
There was another. I'm sure there was a Boca River Plate one the other day where it was pre-season and was sensational. Tevez was playing. So was that
Boca Juniors?
Yeah, I think it was River Plate Boca Juniors. Christ, they just obviously pre-season friendly isn't not a notion they understand.
I was just thinking, we had a friendly a few years ago in Spain against this nice Italian club, Brighton did, and he got abandoned after 60 minutes because Gus Boyer told all the Brighton players to come off because they were kicking the crap out of us, pretty much. I think one of their players ran 20 yards and pushed Ashley Barnes over, and that was the final straw because Brighton players they weren't taking it because they were just getting beaten up, pretty much. So I don't know what their pre-season mentality is over there.
They just kick the shit out of each other.
It's their bulldog-like approach.
FIFA 11, was it?
Every FIFA since about that line.
Brilliant.
Tevez with his bulldog-like approach.
There's like a Facebook group, I think.
Sorry, Anthony.
All right, Gary Neville yesterday lost 7-0. Well, his team lost 7-0 to Barcelona. Neville leave or Neville Vitaya was trending in Valencia, and a lot of people have been saying Neville should quit. What did you guys make of the display?
Well, I think most teams will get a 7-0 thrashing off Barcelona at some point.
The quote that I think there's an old quote that has arisen that if one of his teams got beaten by Barca, if a team he managed got beaten by Barca, he wouldn't be able to look his family in the eye. I don't know if that was a real quote.
I've got the quote which Richard sent me this morning. It's you see teams go to the new camp, get beat 5, 6, 7-0. Barca are a good side. Well, they're a great side, but if I was involved with a team that got beat 7-0 there, I wouldn't be able to look my family in the eye anymore.
you've got a feel for him. I mean, he obviously is a novice manager, novice setup in many respects. But then again, was it 4 Suarez, 3 Messi, or the other way around? I mean, you are looking at possibly the best triumvirate of a strike force the world has seen at least since 1970s time, if not ever. It's a ridiculously strong.
And in fairness to him, it's a good excuse now not to look at Phil Neville's face.
Well, the thing is, though, at 3-4-0 down against Barcelona, it must be so difficult to get the motivation. And
what do you do? Because there's no point shutting up shop. I mean, that doesn't really affect Barcelona. So it's just like, once you get to that point and they're kind of going, it doesn't stop. But,
yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things that sometimes think as a manager, they've either not followed your instructions or the team are just too good for it to matter. I don't think you can. Are there many changes that a manager can make from the side of the pitch?
Sorry, mate.
No. I mean, when they're carrying on like that, really. I mean, ability just does that.
Yeah. I think you sort of said it yourself. I think no matter how good the structure is, the setup, when you've got simply Valencia, who are okay, but they're no match to Barcelona. Barcelona have got your Suarez's, Messi's. It can get out of hand, and it did last night, obviously. And I just think, no matter who, I think Barcelona, they're going to do that to a lot of teams.
I mean, have they won a league match since he's been there?
No, they've not.
No, not yet.
I think
that's
the only game that they won prior to this was the quarter-final.
I mean, that's the 7-0 is cherry on top, but that's the concern. The fact is that he hasn't even had the new manager. I wouldn't say it's the end of his managerial career as such as that. I mean, it's a hard thing to do. But then at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he went, screw this. Monday nights in front of the television cameras were a lot easier.
All right, there's a question. Should Gary Neville, should he be sacked or leave the club?
The one saving grace he's got for him is that he's best mates with the chairman there.
Peter Lynn.
I reckon it'll be until the end of the season.
Yeah. I think he'll just go at the end of the season.
Yeah. Is he? Am I right in saying he's only on contract at the end of the season?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think he'll just do it to the end of the season and leave. And I reckon probably resume Sky. Or is he still one of the? Is he still?
He's still insistent.
He's still in the England setup, and I'd imagine he'll be in the running. Whether this have harmed him or not, I mean, the benefit of getting the coaching experience is inability to motivate his players. All those things.
Yeah, I reckon personally he'll still be in. I reckon he'll still be the next England manager personally, unless it gets ridiculously bad. He starts losing 7-0 on a regular basis against random teams. But I just reckon it's already set up for him to be the next England manager. To be honest with you.
All right, let's move on. Richard, do you want to introduce your game that we've got for this week?
Okay, it's been used on the lottery and also used to be on Wipeout with Bob Monkhouse. But the rules are: I name a category. Player A then states, based on that information, how many answers they think they can give within 30 seconds. Player B then can either say that they can do a higher number themselves, or that they want player A to go for it and name however many they stated. It continues to go higher on bids until one player decides the other can go. I say the category's the World Cup. Anthony's first and he says he can get 6. Nick thinks he can do better and says 7. Anthony raises it higher to 8, and then Nick decides Anthony can go for that. Anthony has to name 8 answers in 30 seconds. I then reveal the full questions, name countries that have hosted a World Cup final. If Anthony gets 8 or more, he wins that round. If not, Nick does. All makes sense?
Hero, yeah. Can you keep having a bidding war pretty much? Can you just go higher? Can everyone keep going higher?
Keep going higher. I will say how many the maximum is though beforehand.
Yeah. Okay, mate.
All right.
Okay, which pairing wants to go first? Nick and Anthony?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. The category
we have like
is...
a theme.
There'll be a
There you go.
Brilliant.
Okay, the category is, and it's Anthony to choose on this one, there's 20.
Right. 20.
How many do you think you can get in 30 seconds?
What's the question?
I don't know the question.
You don't know, I'm not telling you the question.
No, but I don't know the category. You just said 20.
Yeah, there's 20 in total.
Yeah, but what's the category?
What's the question?
What's the topic?
Managers.
Right, 20. All right. I'll go 10.
I'll let him go for 10.
Okay, you're not going to go higher?
Ambitious, Nick. Really ambitious.
No, okay,
that
I
is
will.
quite high, actually. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll let him go for 10.
I've got a question in my head, and I hope it's that.
I'm going to start the clock.
This
After.
Anthony's the person that's
Alright, Anthony's question. You ready for it?
Wait. Yeah. What's?
Okay. Name as many current Premier League managers as you can. Go.
Van Gaal, Hiddink, Wenger, Martinez, Pochettino, Koeman, Ranieri, Remy Gardner, McLaren, Allardyce, Klopp,
That's 11.
Mark Hughes.
12.
Well done.
Thanks. I was hoping that was the question. I was scared.
Anthony, that round. Nick. Nick. Right,
If I'd known that, I'd have said like 20.
Well, you should have said higher then.
Well, I didn't think the question would be that easy.
I assumed that would be the question, to be honest, when it was 20 and
That is
managers.
kind of the risk, Nick. That is slightly the point of the game, I think.
Okay, so Nick, you to say first. Okay, England.
Yeah.
How many do you want to go for on that? There's 22 options on this.
For England, 12.
I'll go 13.
Nick.
14.
15, why not?
Yeah, I'll let him go for that.
15. That's a high one.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready, Chris?
Yeah.
Name as many players as you can from the 1966 World Cup winning squad. Go.
Jesus Christ! Moorhurst. What?
Go on.
Moorhurst Pizzas.
Yeah.
Cohen, Hunt, Ball, Snobby Styles, Bobby, not Greaves, I can't remember his fucking name, Greaves, Wilson, Charlton, Banks. Oh, there's no way I remember any of this squad players after that.
You got 11.
Oh,
Hooray!
Well done. That's a good effort, I think.
Yeah, I was impressed with that.
Ball, Charlton, Moorhurst, Owen, Easton, Byrne, Banks, Callahan, Charlton, Armfield, Greaves, Connolly, Peters, Styles, Hunter, Benetti, Wilson, Hunt, Flowers, Springett, and Payne.
I tell you what, I definitely got 12 because I've got Charlton's twice.
Jackie and Bobby.
Got more than I'd have got on that one.
I know the team, and I knew Greaves, and then I don't know what else.
Yeah,
Did anyone else get on the pitch?
Okay, and the last one for this round will be Chris versus Anthony. Chris, go first as the option. The category is Europa, and there's 27.
What was that? Sorry, Europa League.
No, just Europa. I'm saying
And the how many?
27.
15.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that.
15.
Anthony.
Yeah, you can go for that. 15.
God damn it!
Okay. Name as many clubs as you can that have won either the Europa League or / as it was known before, the UEFA Cup, starting now.
Seville, Chelsea, Sevilla, even Chelsea. Jesus, Ajax, AC Milan, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Liverpool, Inter, Juventus, Porto, Atletico, Ipswich, Bayern Munich, Valencia, Shakhtar, Zenit, Feyenoord, Leverkusen.
Dum.
Oh.
You got 13.
Oh,
That was a good effort.
Come on, on there. AC Milan aren't on there, and Barcelona aren't on there.
Wow, Barca's a bit.
That was a good effort. Well done.
Oh, Bobby Robson would have been proud of me. I remembered him, Twitch.
That was very good. Yeah, what ones that you could have had that you missed? Spurs?
I wouldn't have said it even though.
Liverpool?
I thought of Liverpool.
I said Liverpool.
Did you? I missed that in the mix then. Leverkusen, did you say? You got a lot of the good ones, like Napoli, Parma.
I didn't say Napoli or Parma.
PSV.
I said that, yeah.
Zenit St. Petersburg.
Did get Zenit.
Yeah.
Anderlecht.
Did get Anderlecht.
Okay. Part 2 will be on in a bit.
Yeah, I look forward to revisiting the quiz later. So, I want to talk about transfer deadline day, but before we talk about any transfers, the biggest piece of news that day was Guardiola confirming he was moving to City, or City more likely confirming Guardiola was there. I guess it's presumably you guys think it's a great appointment for City.
Well, it wasn't really a shock, was it? I think everyone knew that was going to happen, but yeah. I don't think it is that great of an appointment, to be honest. I think whenever Guardiola's gone somewhere, he's taken over a squad that's pretty much set up to win a league and impossible to fail, really. Barca, it was I think anyone could have, that era Barcelona had, anyone could have really won all the stuff he won.
I would say that there are different pressures in managing good teams to managing mid-table to relegation to other standards, and having that and delivering it with style and aplomb as well, as he did with Barca. I mean, he's maintained the status quo with Bayern, but he will probably feel that if he doesn't win the Champions League this year, that he did fail. Although arguably they are one of the better teams to watch in the world right now, depending on if they get it right, because sometimes they're just ugly, they're just boring. But otherwise, yeah, I think he fits, doesn't he? They've been trying to become the Barca of England in many ways with their setup. The amount of money they invest in their youth academy, kind of all the backdrop. They've got the guys with the names I can't say in the I'll just call him Cheeky because I can't remember his actual name. And so they've kind of been waiting to get him in. I feel sorry for Pellegrini, really, who arguably is one of the nicest men in football.
I think with Pellegrini, he's always sort of. I think the problem for Pellegrini's always been is that he's not controversial enough.
He's not interesting, really, is it?
Yeah, he's never going to be on the back page of the paper.
It was quite funny that time when him and Pardew had the argument, and Pardew turned around and called him an old CUNC. that was probably his best moment.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he's been a very good manager for them. He's always come across as a very respectful person. He could arguably get a job with, I would not be surprised if Chelsea or Manchester United at least cast an eye about whether he could make an impact with them. And I think he would be an improvement on both their positions. Whether he fancies it or not, or whether Man United would dare go for sack manager, it's a different matter.
Although obviously United looks like they're going to be getting Maury.
Yeah,
Pellegrini. I couldn't see them going for a City one.
No, but Pellegrini is more suited to the style. I mean, if anything, the problem with Pellegrini has been that he never seemed to quite grasp that he could defend with City. Often their criticism in Europe, less so this year, was that he just went out to attack. And maybe Man United fans would be careful what they wish for to that extent, but it is what they say Manchester United is about. Although nothing can be as interesting as the team Steve Howie predicted for Man City at the start of next season.
Well, since it's been announced that Pep's taking over, I think they're buying Messi, Neymar, Pogba.
I'll read you the team that Steve Howie thinks. Potential teams: Hartingy, Varane, Alaba, Silva, Iniesta, Pogba, Bale, Aguero, Griezmann. Yeah, I mean they could do all right with that team.
Do you think there was a chance Guardiola would ever join United or Chelsea or anyone else, or do you think he was always going to City?
I think the way that it was predicted since August that Guardiola was going to take over after Pellegrini. I think it was completely set up and it was never in doubt, really.
His best mates were at the top there.
Exactly.
I imagine that United made an inquiry and quickly found out that he was going to City.
I really think I think Pellegrini would be a really good suit for Chelsea. To be fair, whoever said it earlier, apologies, I've actually forgotten who said it to me. But yeah, I think he'll be perfect there because they've had a bit of a controversy the last year, to say the least. And yeah, as we've all agreed on, he goes back to business quite well. But I suppose that's the opposite of Chelsea football club, isn't it? So,
Nick, you mentioned about Pep before that he's always sort of gone into jobs where it's pretty much that they're guaranteed to win.
Handed on his plate, yeah. No, I don't mean to be.
But when he took over at Barcelona, they were third in the La Liga. Yeah, so
yeah, but wasn't that down to? Wouldn't you say it's more down to the previous manager completely underperforming?
And also that he possibly came in at a good time of transition, especially as it was Rijkaard, wasn't it? And it wasn't a peaceful ending, if I remember correctly.
Not 4-1 to Real Madrid.
Not that you could be sacked in Spain and have anything be peaceful, but it was. Yeah, I mean, what he did do though was Barcelona, as we know them, were not what they were before Pep, and the amount of people that tried to now play the Barcelona way. It was. I mean, Pep didn't. He didn't invent it, but he certainly revived that.
He owned it.
He owned that. He put his spin on it. Interestingly, I think this is his biggest test because I don't think he's ever had to go to a league where his defence will be under such pressure every week.
Well, this was my next question. Do we think he'll be a successor in England, or is there a chance he could fail?
Man City are getting backed. There is no doubt right now that when Pep comes in, the wallet is going to open up. The checkbook will be clean and ready for him. And I think they will. I mean, this is the time, and I don't think there's ever been a time where an English club, considering the money available, has been as attractive because they are super rich. They will buy in the best players, and they've got probably the world's most enticing manager for a player to look at. I think I want to be coached by that. I want to be coached by the guy who made Iniesta, Xavi, Messi, Piqué. I mean, he's going to have to hope that company gets fit, and he's going to have to hope that if he does buy John Stones, that he can do what he wants, and that the Premier League actually isn't too pacey to have a kind of a defender who strolls around. Because Piqué's gone off the ball ever since Puyol left, because Puyol carried him. And he was the least Barcelona player in that whole team, Puyol. Yeah. He was Puyol regardless, and everyone else was Barcelona. It's interesting now because he's got the Touré's agent that's already had digs at Guardiola. I'd imagine Touré, who's not been on sure footing with them for a couple of years, I'd imagine he's out the door. I'd imagine a lot of players would be scared. I don't know if there'll be as wholesale changes as people think, but I'd imagine as well we're going to get. I'd say I wouldn't be surprised.
The one that I think will be gone,
40 millions.
The one that I think will be gone, which will be a shame, I think, for City and the Premier League, unless he goes to a different club in the Premier League. But I think he'll end up back in Spain. He'll be David Silva.
I think his passing will be too. I think he's just too good. I think he's just too good. I'd be interested to see whether he might look at changing him to a deeper role, like with Thiago and Lahm. He's always wanted those people who dictate play. Whether he looks at Silva and goes, "You can do that," but I think Silva is just too good for them.
I'm a United fan in the league, but I don't think he suits the high pressing. The first part of the defence is in far up in their half as possible, and I don't think he fits.
He doesn't, but do you think there's an argument you can't do that in the Premier League in the same way you can, Barcelona could do it?
I think it's certainly. I think whilst it's not as good, you would look at the way Liverpool have played when they played well under Klopp. It's shown it's successful, and I think for a while this season there was a time where Tottenham their ethos was very much pressure, pressing, and winning the ball back. They weren't fantastically entertaining at the start of the season, but they were a relentless machine for kind of a coherent unit, which is, the first time I'd ever really be able to describe Spurs as better than the sum of their parts. They're usually individuals, and they've got that kind of focus. So it will be interesting where again, that Pep will never have had a defence so constantly, physically and rigorously tested. I think Premier League defences are always tested, unless Newcastle can't be bothered that week. But otherwise, every other team, and maybe Villa, will always test a defence with a physical player or their own chances.
All right, one final question on this then we'll move on. What do you think City will win next year, trophy-wise?
I think they'll probably buy the better players, so they'll probably win the league.
I reckon they'll win the league. I reckon Champions League, I don't think they'll get it right in one season. But yeah, I reckon the Premier League and maybe one of the cups, League Cup or Cup.
I think they're going to be dominating the Premier League for the next few years.
Who's going to stop them?
I can see them getting knocked out by Bayern Munich next year.
All right. Chris mentioned Newcastle at the end, just in passing, and I want to talk about them. They've made some good signings in January. They've got Townsend, Shelby, Dumbier's in on loan. It looks like they've got a decent squad now.
I can cut it straight away and say they've made some good signings, but have they made the right signings? What was Newcastle's problem? And I would say the fact is that their best defender, Colaccini, plays 1 in every 4 games all right. And all they've done is they've bought fair weather players, possibly.
Yeah, I think they could have done with a centre back. I think you've said it crap, so you've spot on there. Dumbier will get them goals, no question. How much? I don't know.
How old is Dumbier?
God knows. He's one of them. He could be like 26. He could be 35.
He looks 35. He's in his late 20s. I think he's an interesting one because I know that he isn't. They weren't too happy with him where he was, even though his Champions League goal record is very, very good. Whether he's going to be bothered or whether he's going to adapt, make the effort to adapt, is interesting. But then none of their other strikers can score. Jose Perez is a very good second striker, but he's also quite young, so he's not consistent either.
Mitrovic is pretty good. If he has a bit of confidence, I reckon.
If he could finish. I mean, there's been people slating Townsend as... I mean, it's very fashionable slating these players in general, and I think Townsend is a good signing for a team like Newcastle. I think he's a good signing for pretty much anyone in the bottom half of the table, and possibly in the top half as well. But he's not played regular football for a long time, and he isn't one you would say has fight either. Shelby, the problem would be if he has too much fight. But yeah, I'd more than anything, you really do have to wonder whether McLaren can manage a team with any bottle.
I think Shelby and Townsend are pretty good. I think they're very good signings, and Townsend I think is very underrated. So I know a lot of people slate him because he's a bit selfish, but to be fair though, whenever I see him play for England, whenever he actually seems to play for England, he always seems to put in a good shift and scores his fair few as well. But no, I think he'll do all right, Newcastle. But I think your key point there is they need a centre back because last night was another 3-0 defeat last night against Everton.
I mean, if they lose at the weekend, could McLaren be gone?
There's Newcastle fans who think he's on the edge. There isn't actually much to suggest that Mike Ashley's a trigger-happy manager, and I think if it was in his mind, he probably doesn't spend as much. I think he's still spent because I think he's clever enough as a businessman to know Premier League more than anything. But yeah, the thing they're lacking is the thing that somehow Swansea have found that I didn't think they'd find is grit. And they haven't bought much that would make me think, they're going to fight.
Shelby always looks a bit of a fighter.
I think his problem is that he looks like a fighter in the way that someone who's just had a few bottles of Blue Lightning and is meet you at the back of a pub is a fighter, rather than...
Yeah, it's that one that you be on the pool table and you sort of slowly walk past.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, there's something went wrong at Swansea, clearly, because he's good enough to be playing. And, I mean, he was fantastic against us in his first game. He hasn't played very well since, but given space, he's a fantastic passer of the ball. And you can see when he's got time why Liverpool thought they could get something from him.
It'd be interesting to see Henry Sivert as well, how he does in the Premier League. He's also a physical midfielder. And
they've got Football Manager about 5 years ago loves Newcastle. They've got Wijnaldum, they've got Henry Save, they're just buying Mbemba, I think, is up on. They're just buying the players that you could have. Mike Ashley's obviously got Football Manager 10. He's never really updated. It's the same game, and he's a money man.
So your dude's on a free and sure.
He's still waiting for some regen players to come through. He doesn't understand what's going on.
All right. Maybe
I thought Newcastle should have gone after was I'd have thought they would have gone after. I've got his name. This is really great. the centre back at Middlesbrough, sorry, Ben Gibson.
Ben Gibson.
Yeah, I thought they'd been a really good sign of them because he's North East lad, doing well in the Championship, England under 21 sub. So I thought that'd been quite good.
I know they bought in Dumbia. It's a bit of a risk coming from a different league, but the one that even Newcastle or other Premier Leagues clubs, I'm surprised, haven't taken a punt on, who's gone back to Middlesbrough, is Jordan Rhodes.
Why goes?
I don't know if everyone's just doing that thing where they go, well, no one else has, so what must be wrong with him? Because that's what I'm starting to make me think. I don't think he's not lightning fast, but he scores goals, and Middlesbrough probably made a very shrewd signing there.
Yeah, they may have paid $9 million over the odds, but Middlesbrough get promoted. There's no question about it. The wage bill and the budget they've got, they're getting promoted. If you finish above Middlesbrough, you're in the Premiership. There's no question about that. Rhodes is quality signing, so he'll get them. In my opinion, there's no price on goals because goals will get you promoted, and so I think fair play to them for actually taking the bottle and paying it.
Someone who Newcastle didn't get,
season, like Charlie Austin.
Yeah,
exactly. I said at the start of the season that's who Villa should have really gone for. Yeah, they'd have probably got ripped off, but
it's interesting that David Sullivan's come out today and said that whilst he was a risk of 12 million and 4 million, he's a risk. It's not really a risk, so he's kind of backtracked. I think Austin is now bound to score against us because the no ligaments in his knees that Davie Sullivan thinks he doesn't have will probably come back to haunt him. But then again, he might. Reportedly, there's £100,000 and quite a lot of money a week going on him.
Yeah, it's true.
But as many people have said, the cult of the striker is probably as strong in Newcastle as it is anywhere. Jackie Milburn and Alan Shearer, as two, are kind of the Newcastle heroes. They idolise their number 9s. And Charlie Austin and Newcastle, I think, was a match everyone saw, and it's just not come to fruition.
Another striker that didn't come to fruition was Berahino. Newcastle bid 21 million for him, and yet he's still at West Brom. What do we make of that?
I feel like the chairman's just trying to tie him up and not letting him leave, really.
West Brom should have drove him to Newcastle for that much money.
I'm a big fan of Berahino, personally. I think he's the new Defoe, which some people, I think even in the bit of attitude, the negative attitude is probably, Jermaine did have that as a kid, and that's where his problems with West Ham were. But he's proven himself for a few years now, at still his young age. He does score goals. I think the problem is, as was the summer with Spurs, if you give someone a day or two to replace a striker in a situation like that, with the money coming in that West Brom, you'd say, are pretty much guaranteed now to get from the TV bonus by staying up, it's not worth it. They couldn't have spent the money.
Do you guys think he's the real deal, though, or is he just someone who's going to be good in Football Manager in 5 years' time?
Berahino, I really, really rate.
I think he's got the ability. I don't think he's got all of it up there in his head.
He's definitely not Ravel Morrison, that's what I can say. And I think, well known, well documented, Defoe was very similar at that age. And I think when you show you can score goals in the Premier League at the age of 20, as consistently for a team not renowned for their attacking football, then you've probably got what it takes.
Yes. All right, let's move on to Chelsea. They signed Alex Pato, who he had a good stint at Milan and then moved to Brazil, and his career's sort of flagged a bit. I think it shows something about Pato, though, that he was linked to the Chinese league. He was offered big money there, and yet he's gone to Chelsea because he wants to prove himself.
I'm so jealous. I thought we might be able to sniff him out. I thought some of the big clubs would leave him be, and we might have been able to sniff at him. I think he could really come good. I think he's the risk worth taking. From what I gathered from reports from Brazil, the fitness and kind of some of the burst of pace is still there. And if the 26, it's no risk, if you ask me.
I think he's similar to sort of the Coutinho resurgence at Liverpool. In that he was wasted in Italy, didn't particularly perform there. Same for Pato at AC Milan. I think he got it a bit the other way round on what you said, Anthony, that when he went back over to Brazil, Pato had a bit of a resurgence there, and that's why I think, why Chelsea have snapped him up. But the English league could be suited to him. There's a few other Brazilians at Chelsea upon with, and could relight his career.
Another Chelsea striker, Falcao, he was in Madrid on transfer deadline day. There was talk he was going to have a loan deal to Atletico Madrid. unfortunately for him, it didn't happen, and now he's not in the Champions League squad. Do you think we'll see him make any more Chelsea appearances?
Probably not.
It's an odd one that he didn't actually end up going to Atletico, because like straight away, like 2 days later, they went and sold Martinez over to a Chinese club.
Mm.
And that was the hold-up for them, that they wanted to get rid of Martinez to bring back Falcao.
I'm not sure exactly why he didn't join, just that he didn't. I did try and look it up, but I couldn't find any information.
I wonder whether there was enough about his fitness that they found from him as well. That it goes beyond bad luck with him now, doesn't it, really? And I think it's sentimental on Atletico.
We mentioned Chinese clubs in passing. Let's talk about the Chinese league then briefly. We've got like Jackson Martinez, who's joined for 31 million. We've got Gervinho, Ramirez, both moving for big fees. There's been a lot of money spent in China. I think about 100 million, 110 million euros, something like that. Is it going to be the next big thing, the Chinese league?
Where's all this money suddenly come from?
The government have put a lot more money into it.
If I remember correctly, they're I don't know what he's called now in China. I would say the equivalent of the Prime Minister. I don't think he's called the Chairman anymore. He's not making the worst special boots he got. That's controversial. He's a football fan, and he's made deals with businesses about pumping. I mean, they're pumping, sick of China getting as big as it is and not having any success. And he's, I think, by showing support to that, a lot of businesses are currying favour with the chairman by becoming chairman of their own football clubs, because they're kind of, cozying up to the man who, he loves football, and it's much like Russians do each other these kind of supposed favours in business. It's much the same as that. I think that's why, I can't remember, it's Guangzhou, Shanghai or something like that. I think that possibly the part of their name is actually named after their owner, and he bought a football team. 4 years later, sold 50% of it for about 4 times the price that he bought the whole thing for, because businesses are buying in, and the TV rights have gone up from about 9 million for all the games a few years ago to 200 million. And these footballs, they're getting, that top team, Guangzhou or whatever they're called, they got season ticket applications for their 27,000 season tickets. They've got higher average attendances than France, possibly. 20,000. They're going for it. It's been his enthusiasm has infused as it can do, at least, to the businessmen who are throwing money at it, and they're throwing big money at it because they don't have the same restrictions as the USA. It's proper capitalism. They're not trying to make this a fair playing field. So the wages they can offer are huge. I know there was a big clear out. I don't think it's full of quite a lot of top players from Corinthians went across to China. There's some very good Brazilian young prospects who are playing.
Well, Asamoah Gyan.
And yes, I mean, they've got Sven, they've got Scolari, they've got other big name. They've got kind of, if not their former Italian coach, a former Scudetto winner.
Player, the third highest paid player in the world at the moment.
Oh, it's that weird one. I never remember the name. But yeah, they've got. I mean, Jean's over there. Ramirez is over there. Martinez is now over there. Cahill is over there. There's those Brazilians. There are now quite a lot of players. And whereas it's the big older names going across to America, it's becoming something to do now. I mean, Yelovich is going to be over in China very soon because apparently he's going to get paid $60,000 a week.
Well, the lad that Liverpool were trying to buy on the last day of the transfer. Yeah, it's Texera from Shakhtar. They're willing to do the buyout clause and pay that.
Yeah, I heard that 50 million apparently.
Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think they've got money, they've got fans, they've got obviously, 22,000 people in China. There's not that many people.
Is it an opportunity for some of the Premier League clubs, especially if you look at like Man United, who have already got a huge following over in the Far East, to do some sort of tie-in deal with one of the clubs there?
I mean, considering the noises now when we talk about people taking over football clubs in this country, especially as it's particularly pertinent because I'm obviously a West Ham fan, and we are seen possibly as one of the next clubs people bought. It's often considered it will be China or any of the oil-rich Qataris who have got much money around the Olympics Park anyway. If you just got to remember the popularity of David Beckham in Asia, it was like 2006, 2002 in South Korea, and he was the star of that, and that was years ago now, and football business has moved on hugely. You've got to be thinking there's going to be pre-season tours, may not be going to the USA anymore.
So the biggest deal transfer deadline day was Mbula moved to Stoke for 18 million from Porto. Do you guys think that's a good signing for them?
Great sign. As I said, it's fantastic credit to Mark Hughes. I think he's done a fantastic job at Stoke. The football he's playing, they've gone from giving everyone neck ache, they've gone from playing almost being a rugby team to playing some absolutely superb football, even getting the nickname Stoke owner. I think the players he's attracting, Bojan, Arnautovic and Shaqiri, I think this is just again top done. I'm amazed how not the bigger clubs aren't sort of going for it. I think he's class.
It looks a solid player. It's a big amount though for a player that comes from the Portuguese league. But I think it'll be worth it.
The replacement for Steve Sidwell, and they haven't really replaced Nzonzi as well when he left in the summer.
Nzonzi I thought was going to be a big problem for them, and actually they have got straight for strike. I mean, they did make some cracking signings in the summer, and Stoke have always backed their managers. To be fair, with money, and they well know now that today's 18 million might be 30. Well, it might be 25, 30 million in the summer with the extra money. So it's probably a good time to strike. I just did anyone see that coming?
No, I certainly didn't.
The thing was, he only joined Porto in the summer for 15 million, and I think it's a really good signing. He's been dubbed the next Patrick Vieira, and he does have some serious potential about him.
You look at Stoke as a side now, they're 10th at the moment, and I think it's clear to them that if they finish 10th this season now, that's probably not a great season for them. No, and that's how far they've come.
I look at the players they've got, and it confuses me that they're not competing up with us in sixth in a way, because they've got. Well, I mean, Afellai's not been fantastic for them, but Shaqiri, Arnautovic, Bojan, just there are some fantastic players. Butland has arguably been as good as any other goalkeeper in the league. I think now the problem is they need to upgrade that defence again. They need Pulis to come in and buy some defenders for them.
Yeah.
All right, I just want to finish transfer talk with two strikers who've joined, who have both been criticised for not being good enough. There's Emenike, who's joined West Ham, and Emmanuel Adebayor to Palace. What do you guys make of those two signings?
Emenike interests me. I think he's going to be our Yelovich replacement, so that's basically our fourth choice striker replacement. And a couple of years ago, he was being linked with big moves to Chelsea and Spurs at big money. So for a loan fee, I say he's worth the punt. He knows, Bilic has signed him because Bilic rates him from managing in the same league as Emenike was playing in two different countries, and he has the tools to be a really quality acquisition. And they still, whilst that he's Turkish fans are notorious. Anyone who wants to leave, they notoriously suddenly hate. As Yilmaz, who's probably their best striker in that league, and now he's not linked with us, he's suddenly fine again. And they've been slating him, but they still want 11 million if we're to buy him. So they know he's got it. It's just whether he puts it to process. I mean, he's an absolute unit. He's not missed leg day. I mean, he's absolutely huge, and he's got pace. I mean, people playing FIFA like it, regardless.
Yeah.
Because we've already got a fast team. But I mean, it could go either way. But come Saturday, he'll be on the bench. Carroll will be on the bench, and Saka will be back the week after. We'll have Valencia, Carroll, Saka, and Emenike. So if he doesn't come with a bang, it's not going to probably be a big deal. And if he does, then he's going to have to get in front of good strikers anyway.
That's a solid strike line.
Yeah, I mean that's the best strike line. I don't remember us ever having four good strikers.
What about Adebayor? What do you guys make of him?
Well, he's got what? We're in February now, so he's got 3 months. He usually lasts 3 months with football playing well.
I mean, the one thing you say about Adebayor is he plays well when he wants to earn a contract. And I mean, the problem will be whether he's fit. I mean, I know there's people coming out saying he went back home to Togo and used to play football for some of what were professional teams. That's not really fitness. So we'll see. And I mean, Crystal Palace have a tight-knit squad, and Pardew has history of, when he gets the money, taking risks on players that eventually the squad unity isn't there. His West Ham side fell apart squad unity-wise. His Newcastle side fell apart squad unity-wise. Adebayor's the first step on the road to that possibly happening to Palace.
He needed to do something as well, strike-wise, because they've not scored that many.
3 goals, is it? 3 goals between all their strikers?
They're only goal scorers like Gale, and he's not good enough.
Yeah, and they've actually got, at the moment, they've got the worst form in the Premier League at the moment.
I never got why they...
5 games.
I have no idea why they got rid of Glenn Murray.
He's not good.
He's a good championship sort of level player, but he's not good enough for the Premier League in my...
Adebayor, if he turns up, is by far and away the best striker in that team now. I mean, Connor Wickham was their best striker. Connor Wickham, but he's not a goal scorer. Adebayor does the physical side, and he also scores goals when he's playing well. But he is that bit older now, and he is a twat.
It depends, Rick, because he's usually good when he's on a short-term contract, but it depends if he can mug Palace off to pay him, £100 a week next season.
Alright, let's move on to the second round of our game. So, over to you, Richard.
Okay, so this one is going to be between Nick and Anthony again. Last time, Anthony went first on between you two, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yeah, I said Tottenham. Yeah.
So, Nick, it's you to choose on this. The subject matter is transfers. There's 20 of them. How many are you going to name?
I'll go for 13.
All yours, Nick.
Okay. I like how in all these you're really sort of going low and working your way up. Playing the game well there. Okay. Your topic is name players that currently appear within the top 20 transfers fees on Wikipedia. Go.
Bale, Ronaldo, Torres, Bale, Ronaldo, Torres, Di Maria, Ozil, Sanchez, Berbatov, Ronaldo, Fat Ronaldo, that was what I meant, Ronaldinho, Vigo,
Time up.
Oh, how did you not say Zidane?
Yeah, I've just
Shevchenko was in my head as well.
I've crumbled on pressure.
Of the top 20. This is in alphabetical order. Di Maria, Martial, Tevez, Ronaldo, David Luiz, Cavani, Torres, Bale, Hernan Crespo,
yeah.
James Rodriguez, Kaká, De Bruyne, Figo, Suarez, Ozil, Neymar, Falcao, Sterling, Zidane, and Ibrahimovic.
Yeah, I was shocking. I deserve to come.
To be fair, there's a lot of them I wouldn't even forget.
Yeah, it's quite a funny one. It's a funny one, really.
Yeah.
So,
I'm looking at.
And I'd be interested to know whether, if that was updated by today, whether
Lukaku. I thought Lukaku.
Lukaku. I would have thought Jackson Martinez was 37 million.
31, I think.
Anyway, carry on.
Okay. So then it's been Anthony and Chris. Who went to choose first between you two?
I think it was Chris, but I'm not completely sure.
I think it was me.
Yeah, it was Chris, yeah.
Okay, so Anthony, your subject matter is America. There's 20.
Living in America.
How many answers, sorry?
20.
Living in America.
20 answers.
Living in America.
7.
8.
9.
11.
Go for it, Chris.
Okay, Chris, you've got, if you're ready, name as many teams as you can that are currently in the MLS League. Go.
Vancouver Whitecaps, Colorado Rapids. I don't know if these are football teams. The boys. LA Galaxy, New York City, New York Red Bulls, Toronto, something twats, Dallas, something. Do I have to go the whole name? Seattle Sounders. I'm not getting 11. I might as well stick a thumb up my ass.
You got. I counted 9 there, but you did go quiet on a bit.
Living in a man.
I think I probably didn't get enough. I wasn't giving all the team name as well. I just started saying.
I'll reel through all the ones alphabetically and just tick off the ones you said. Chicago Fire.
Oh, fuck.
Colorado Rapids.
I got Colorado Rapids.
Columbus Crew.
Got Columbus Crew.
DC United.
I should have got DC.
FC Dallas.
I said Dallas.
Houston Dynamo.
Should have got the Dynamo.
LA Galaxy said. Montreal Impact. Revolution. New York City. New York Red Bulls. Orlando City. Philadelphia Union. Portland Timbers.
Oh, the Timbers.
Real Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
San Jose Earthquakes. Seattle Sounders. Sporting Kansas City. Toronto FC. Vancouver Whitecaps. And Western Conference.
I could have got 11. I knew a lot of those. So.
I didn't fancy my chance of getting 11 in that time.
When you said Americans, I thought you were going to say America. The people that have played in the Premier League who are playing in America.
Okay, so the last round is between Chris and Nick. The subject matter is the Premier League. And there's 22 to go for.
Chris, you're up.
15.
16.
18.
19.
Screw it, 22.
Oh, you have to go for that, Chris.
I'm just rooting other people's fun. I don't really care about winning.
Right, so name as many clubs that were in the first Premier League of the 1992 to 1993 season, starting now.
Pardon? Pardon?
Start the question again.
Name the clubs that were in the first ever Premier League, which was the 1992 to 1993 season.
Okay, Swindon, Oldham, Manchester United, Manchester City, Aston Villa, Everton, Liverpool, Newcastle, Everton, Blackburn, Queen's Park Rangers, Tottenham, Arsenal, Wimbledon, Chelsea, Sheffield United, Ipswich, Norwich, Leeds, Southampton, Crystal Palace, Fulham. No, not Fulham. We weren't in there. Newcastle, Sunderland, Borough, Nottingham Forest.
I have no idea how many you got there.
It was a good attempt.
I don't think you got all of them though. Did you say Wimbledon?
Yes.
Oh. You said Sheffield United. Did you say Coventry?
Yes, I know Coventry are in there. I watched a lot of Premier League years, by the way.
You said Oldham.
Yep, Oldham and Swindon.
You said
I've got a table. Swindon weren't in there. That might be. I've got the. I don't know. Barnsley weren't there. I'm just wondering whether I said Wednesday.
I don't. You definitely said United.
You didn't say Sheffield Wednesday, no.
I think Wednesday's probably the one I've missed. Looking at this.
Wednesday. We're Sheffield Wednesday.
I think I said Swindon, not Wednesday.
Yeah.
We're on our way back.
They are.
That was an absolute cracking effort, though.
It was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You do realise how much of my life has been spent playing old Championship Manager and watching Premier League years?
I think that's most.
I spent days playing Kenny Dalglish playing manager.
And also, when I was at uni, me and a friend of mine played an old Premier League Manager game which had.
I remember Premier League Manager.
I think it might not have been David.
Premier League
The
Manager
soundtrack,
was
one of
my
those
favourite
old. I'm thinking it might have had Ron Atkinson saying, "We're going to go on the season unbeaten. We can do it, and no one will stop us." Underneath the soundtrack or something like that. We're not going to lose one game.
My favourite computer game of all time is Premier League Manager 2002. I know the front cover was a bloke who had all the Premier League bloke shirtless with all the Premier League clubs tattooed on his chest.
I know that one of those games is the reason that my favourite
you just
song.
back off to that then.
One of those games is the reason my favourite song is "You and Me Always" by the Wannadies, because it was the soundtrack to that show.
What a tune. And it's that song reminds me of Richard Hillman driving people into a canal on Coronation Street.
Yeah, trying to kill
Gail.
Gail.
And David and Sarah. And
This is a low. I've been on this podcast for about 2 years, and this is a low.
Yeah, I must admit.
Not exactly down.
Getting to the final of the award.
So who won how many games on each?
I won every game, but I only actually did it once, so I feel a bit
lost
guilty.
every
And you had the easiest question of all.
I feel a bit guilty because I only did that one question and let the other three. I'll let you guys do it. And
I think Chris deserves a lot of credit for it because he actually put the effort.
I put myself in every time and lost every time.
I only go with Shambolic, so.
Yeah, yours was pretty poor.
Oh, I don't have to rub it in.
You still beat me.
all right, let's move on. Let's talk about something else that's pretty poor, and it's Aston Villa's season.
Oh, that's nice. You've been nice.
I don't want to say any bad words on the podcast. They've won twice all season. They're 10 away from safety, and it looks pretty dire, let's say. What do you guys make of it?
Sorry for Villa himself.
Do you think they're completely doomed? There's no coming back, or do you think there's a chance?
They're gone.
Absolutely doomed. It's always they're going to be on telly as well. I wish Sky and BT would Villa could just come to an agreement. They just pay Villa the money and just say, you don't have any more games televised because it's a waste of time.
Could Sky actually do that? Is that something that could actually be done? Well, no, obviously. Could they?
Probably
Sky.
not. No.
But they have to show teams that earn a certain.
Yeah, you have to.
But they don't. They don't have to do anything more than that. So
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
imagine the
wondering.
fans will start crying anyway.
Come the last month of the season or two, I don't think they'll be on telly.
That-
Yeah, they shouldn't be. They're just shambles.
Unless they're playing a team who is either needs the points for the relegation battle or needs for the title.
Title race. I think they've been boring for years, though. We said this. We've been slating them on the podcast for the whole season. They've been boring for years, and now I think this January transfer just sums up their football club.
I prefer to see the likes of an Aston Villa in the Premier League than like some of the other ones that sort of come up every other now and again.
Right.
Well, Norwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I will.
West Brom.
It's a shame, but then, as I said to someone the other day, it felt like it was. Everyone has their time, pretty much. There's a few clubs who won't go to relegation. Worry, but it will possibly come to Everton one day if they never get the investment they desperately desire. And it's happened to Newcastle, it's happened to West Ham, it's happened to and it happened to Forest and Leeds, and you'd have probably said
It happened to Man City.
Exactly, happened to Man City, and they came back from very far away to be where they are now. I mean, if you'd said 20 years ago, or that 1992 season that Leeds League, people would have laughed at you. They were close to win the title that year, weren't they?
Mm.
How quality first.
I mean,
it was the 2002 season where they got to the Champions League semi-final.
They paid for one of our stands when they bought Rio.
Leeds were Villa a few years ago. Villa were class under Martin O'Neill. They nearly got the top four, didn't they? Young on one wing, Milner on the other.
What they did was they threw money at mediocre players, and a lot of it. And when the good players went, they didn't buy well after that. I mean, Lerner then cut his cloth accordingly. You could say accordingly, but it's possibly gone too far. And he's wanted to get out of that club for a long time. And whilst I understand these people protesting, at the same time I also think, what's the point? Because he doesn't want to be there either. And you can't blame him for trying to sell, not being able to sell.
Stan Collymore had a bit to say on the matter. He said, I've got some quotes. Tim Fox and Mr. Lerner, you let the season ticket holders down today. Not even an effing glimmer of a signing to give them a lift. Hardcore Villa fans need to totally boycott. And then he added, he didn't blame Garda. He seems a decent, honest man, but he's been duped like the rest of us. Change, get them out, or die. That's where we're at.
Well, it's passionate, but
Is he right?
No, I think the only positive out of this is it's decent all for us next season. So
He's the thing is Villa were linked to some decent players, and it seemed like stuff might happen. There was like Charlie Austin, who obviously moved to Southampton. There was Benica Fabi, Loic Remy, Matthew Debussy.
The only thing you'd say is they wouldn't be able to buy the quality because they're going down. So what would have paid either in wages too much or they would have bought in players that weren't worth it.
Mm.
So I can see why they the business sense is, have a crack with what you've got, but we have to consider the fact that we're probably going to be losing out on a lot of money.
Stan Collymore said the idea of getting ready for the championship next season, but then surely the fans will be even more pissed off about that.
The players they've got. I mean, Gusted is going to be a fantastic asset for them in the championship, but probably has been misused by them. And they will have. They've got players who. I mean, what they did do, at least in the summer, was they bought some young players, and young players don't have to rush off, especially if they have a good contract.
You say this, but everyone said this about Fulham. When they went down, they've got a good young squad that should win the championship. And the fringes of relegation in the last couple of years.
Villa will have the same problems Fulham have had. If they get the right manager, and I think Remingard's probably going to go, because I think he was probably promised money that he hasn't got, and has more prospect in his career than Championship in Villa, being living in Birmingham. Then they've got to get the right manager, because Fulham didn't, and it's cost them years, if ever returning.
I think Remingard's actually, before he went, he's actually got quite a good record, but I think I don't know whether he'll stay in the championship or not, but if he does go, they just need to get someone who knows championship inside out, really. But
what at least does it do is it exposes the myth of Tim Sherwood.
I like Sherwood, but
Alan Partridge's newest character, Tim Sherwood, has been shown up for what he is, an absolute chancer and a bit of a pillock.
Something that really compounded it all was Jordan Ayew's red card, though, for the elbow, and when they lost to West Ham. It was pretty funny. He's apologised, though. He has said Villa will fight to the end, and they can try their best, I'm sure. But
I mean, they were the better team in that first part of the game, and whilst he was provoked, but the provoked he got was Aaron Cresswell pinched him in the shoulder. He did it, but it's not even. I mean, that's not a block offence. And then he's elbowed him in the face. And then after that, they just had to defend. And I feel for some of the players. Micah Richards, especially, was very good in that game, and he fought and he cares. But all he's doing at the moment is convincing other people that he's worth taking a punt on, because he doesn't have to stay at Villa. He might, because they took the chance to bring him back and gave him the captaincy. But I don't see Adama Traore coming from Barcelona, and then playing in the Championship.
Well, there's talk he was going to get the stupid talk. Because that's the Championship club. He's actually one of their own good players.
I didn't get a word of that.
I said I was saying he nearly got loaned out at the start of the season to Championship clubs, but nothing came of it. But that would have been stupid, because he's actually one of their only good players.
Yeah. All right, I just want to move on to a final topic quickly. Running out of time. But the title race, do you think, it's Leicester v Man City this weekend. Do you actually think there's a serious chance Leicester can go on and win the title?
It's a very serious chance.
It'll be the best Premier League ever if they do.
There's a very serious chance, and they are in the box seat. Now, I mean, they're not showing any letter. They're testing fixtures on probably the next two. I think they've got City and Arsenal.
Yeah, it's Arsenal. Hang on.
Their football is sensational. It's just that it's watching such an average squad playing absolutely amazing. I think Kante's been the most underrated player of the season. I think Mahrez wins player of the season.
I mean, the problem for Leicester is the same problem as Tottenham. If their striker gets injured, they are probably not going to be able to win the league. And Tottenham could win the league, but if Kane gets injured, they haven't got a chance. But
of course, he's only a one-season wonder, so that won't matter.
It's just go. I think the key games now are going to be for both of those teams: the Arsenal, City, and probably based on performance of the Arsenal, City. I don't think they'll be worried about Manchester United. I think realistically, West Ham, Watford are more of a worry now.
All right, quick question then. One word answer. Who's going to win the league this season? Who's the favourites?
Man City.
Man City will win the league.
It has to be a bit of a Scrooge and say City. Well, I want it to be Leicester, but it'll be City, I think. But I think Arsenal should be hanging their heads in shame. I really do, because they're not going to get a better chance to win the league, especially as we said earlier with City's domination around the corner. I think Arsenal. I'm really disappointed in January. I'm not even someone who likes Arsenal that much, and I'm disappointed for them as a football club. They didn't invest in January. It's just like they don't really care that much about winning the league. They really got his chance.
It's not the Spurs don't win. I don't care.
I'd love Spurs to win it.
I'd love it Spurs to win it. Only bet I've got for sentiment. I think Hero, you're quite similar to me. This, Hero, you share the same view about Spurs winning it.
Well, they're always my second team.
Yeah, I think we've got the same reasons. But
I'm already looking at leaving the country.
What's Spurs though? On a serious point of view, other than my other reasons for Spurs winning the league, at least they've actually got good young English players and they've given them a chance. Ali. I think Pochettino deserves a lot of credit. And I think they've got English managers like Pardew, Allardyce who like to bring tons of foreigners. And at least Pochettino is a foreigner and he actually likes to play English talent that should be used correctly at Euro 2016. Dele Alli, in my opinion, is a nailed on for young player of the season because I think he's absolute class. And Harry Kane is no longer a one-season wonder, so people can stop slagging him off, really. And
although he has got rid of Townsend, he got rid of Dawson.
Yeah, but Dawson's getting.
He's English talent. They've used their money well. Again.
Yeah, no, the style of football they played has been really good. I'm not trying to say they're my.
As I said before, this is the best unit. I suppose. I think they've had in terms of aesthetics of play, but they are much more organised and they are much more progressive. They are. I think they will happily win games 1-0, 2, or 2-1. They aren't going for flashy. They aren't the Spurs of years before. Where
I think it's not as good as that Tottenham team when it had Modric and Bale.
No, they don't.
Lennon when he was actually pretty good.
But not having that vulnerability is why they're successful because they're not being underdog Spurs anymore. I think they can crash the party. They're being. Pochettino has showed himself to be an extremely astute manager. And as much as I hate that, congratulations to them.
No, they're not losing as many stupid games as Spurs lost.
Yeah, they've had that Newcastle, when they lost 2-1 to Newcastle, I was sort of thinking, not even from a Tottenham fan point of view, but I was thinking, here they go again, they're going to start doing this, they're going to go back to themselves, because every year, it's like last season, it was that Villa 1-0 defeat, wasn't it, they're surprised they still have
Spurs are doing what they used to do. The problem is that everyone else in the league is doing it as well. So,
All right.
I think Arsenal though. I don't know if anyone agrees with me on this, but does anyone else think they've missed a trick in this transfer window?
Oh, they bottled it against Southampton the other day, I think.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
I don't quite know who was available for them to buy.
That's the thing.
Yeah, to be fair, they could have gone down Kim. They could have gone down that signing. Was it Kim Kardashian, where Wenger admitted 2 days later?
Calstrom.
He didn't even want to sign him.
They could have got Bueller though.
They brought in Elneny, and he could be a very long term. He could be very good for them. But I don't.
But he could have got that lad that Stoke got.
Yeah, Bueller.
Yeah, I think he probably. I would say that Wenger definitely had a look. I think Wenger probably doesn't rate him or didn't think the money was worth it. Whether he's right, we'll see.
Well, they've been heavily into his lad for a couple of seasons. That's coming through. I can't think of his name at the moment, but he's sort of like the big central midfielder for Portugal now.
William Carvalho.
I think Arsenal should have gambled it on someone like Igalo or someone.
I don't think they could compete with Giroud or Walcott personally. I don't think there's anyone Arsenal could.
He's overrated. I really don't rate him at all.
I think he's underrated.
He's okay. What's he done this season? He hasn't scored that many goals. He's okay. He'll probably be a good squad player, but someone who's going to win a league, would you really say Walcott's going to?
To me, he's far too hot and cold a player.
Yeah, exactly. You need.
Not Walcott, but Giroud is
world class players, no question.
Giroud's a player that can win a league.
Title, that question. Yeah, Giroud's okay. Yeah, Giroud.
I mean, they're still in the title race, and they have not had Sanchez for quite a while. And as well as Ozil has played this year, Sanchez is their best player.
Oh yeah, by a mile.
Give it to Ozil this year. I wasn't a fan at all of him when he joined, but he's been the glue of Arsenal this year.
I think they're using him a bit more correctly. Because wasn't I right when they first got him? They were doing stupid things by playing him out wide and stuff. And
it was always the problem with him and Cazorla initially. They were both basically in his pocket.
I mean, they've lost because Cazorla has been a revelation for them deeper, and they've lost 2 very good players, and they're still in it. So I mean, it's not. It's the way this league has gone. 5 points
Yeah,
He's by no means over.
Absolutely.
Especially with the fixtures in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The big three.
Right, well, on that note, we'll leave it there out. Right, Chris Lappin interviewed Mike Delaney the other night.
I say that's great interview with him, lads. He was really sound.
He's a football choreographer, 3-star footballer. He's worked with some big names: Messi, Beckham, Cantona, Ronaldo, the fat Ronaldo. You can follow us at V2 Football. You can like us on Facebook. And it's good night from me. And joining me, we've had Richard, Nick, and Chris. And it's good night from them.
So long.
Good night.
Everybody, hope you're having a party. Good night.
Hello, this is Bianca Westwood from Gillette Soccer Saturday on Sky Sports, and you are listening to the V2 Football Podcast.